Alright guys, welcome back to the most amazing gaming channel in the world. Today we're going to be going over patch 4.5 notes. I realize I'm a couple days late as it did come out 2 days ago, so I do apologize on that. Poseidon visual update and some other skins, yada yada yada, who gives two shits. I guess there's going to be a new voyage event, so where you can get things like that, so I guess that's kind of cool. Background loading screen, pedestal, yay. Miscellaneous. This is where it kind of starts. All items and gods and relics should now properly follow the slow stacking rules. So this basically means that your god abilities will stack with all other slows from any source. Example of this would be Rama's 1 with Frostbound. It will stack. Now, relics will behave like god abilities. So you can't take Curse and slow them and use Frostbound and use Rama's one. It would just be absolute. You can't negative stack slow someone. So relics cannot stack with themselves either. So you can't have 5 people pop Curse and all of a sudden everyone goes down. It's not going to happen. It's just not. So the strongest slow applied by an item is the only slow that will affect a god. So this basically means that you can't have 4 different people putting on different slows and call that good. Yes, hopefully self-explanatory there. Basically, this is just going to let you know when your team actually purchases it. Clan banning, apparently that was an issue. And fixed an issue where golden experience earned while dead would not be counted towards your team's golden experience in the combat log. Alright, so not too big of a deal, but does help. This might actually be a deal for those that are trying to figure out if they actually had enough to go back and purchase something. This is actually pretty important right here. If it only included when you press tab or whatever and pull up the screen to see how much gold your enemy has, this could have actually been a pretty big issue. Flickering Ritual, it's not out of the game, so it's still not balanced. But it did remove the range down to 40. Hydra's Lament is still the same cost. However, the Hydra Star, which just increased the cost to 1,200, which I think is a good idea, because for 1,000 you got way too much stuff for 1,000 gold. Mental Discord, just because they didn't want you to actually exceed the 40% cap, they're dumbing it down. Basically, they dropped it 200 gold by lowering it 5% cooldown reduction. I would say awesome with this. Mark of the Vanguard, apparently you could pick this up on a lot of things and you'd be a very tanky team early on. My feelings toward this is that it is good against certain team comps, but overall I would think that there's better things out there. Watcher's Gift, I honestly don't think this is too good. Now, they said at high levels of play. I haven't really played at that high level of play yet, like with Masters and Diamonds, things like that. So maybe, I haven't watched the pro scene either, so maybe this is a thing. But again, I would say if you're going to be trading out Mark of the Vanguard for Watcher's Gift, you're trading a lot by doing that. So I think personally this is a bad change. Masamune, I actually had to look this up because this is still a shit item. I thought that you would still get that, extra damage towards someone who has more health than you. In exchange, it's kind of like a reverse Void Shield, or what is it? Yeah, Void Shield. I believe is, yeah, because Void Stone is magical. So this is like reverse Void Shield. Instead of reducing protections of your enemies, you're basically getting protections yourself. So yes, potentially good, but overall, I'm still going to say stay away. I probably won't use this much in any of my builds, even though I did use it in Season 3. Relic stacking changes. They're not going to stack with their upgraded form. So an example of this is you're not going to have Sundering Spear, and then you're not going to be able to have another person upgrade it and then increase the damage on them by like 60% or whatever the math would be. Pretty huge. Greater Sprint. Apparently this was you lost your basic attack penalty if the movement speed was buffed or was removed. So this I think is good. They're basically removing that, so you'll always have the basic attack penalty removal, even if someone cancels it with Curse. Rod of Asclepius and Rod of Healing. The passives for these items no longer stack with each other. Instead, the strongest healing bonus will take priority. Awesome. I could see people building both of these and it would just ridiculously be powerful. I personally never thought of it, but hey, way to actually fix your game. Enchanted Spear. It looks like they just wanted to kind of bring it back down, 1,400. Spear of the Magus and Divine's cost remains unchanged. Spear of Death, so I think this is an awesome change, because yes, it was super good that you gave you the stats, but 2,800 gold, still not quite worth it. 2,600, this is a much more viable option here, and something I may need to look into. now with my future God builds coming on out. Still don't think it'd be anything big for like Agni there because he does like that burstiness, but potentially maybe this would swap out for Ethereal Staff, but I don't see it. Again, I'll keep an eye on these, make adjustments to the builds as needed. Spear of the Magus. This I think is awesome. Void Shard. I don't know what... we're going to look this up real quick. There we go. Void Shard. What, is there no Void Shard? Can we just look up Void? Did anything even change? Oh my god. Oh, well, I'm guessing it will be penetration. I give up. All right. Well, apparently Void Shard. I think they meant to say Void Stone. Because Void Stone is... Where is that? There's Obsidian Shard. And... Smite. Void Shard. Let's go Magic Defense then. Void Stone. An Obsidian Shard. I don't know. Fuck. I don't. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Apparently they were pretty accurate. So this I think is good. Actually, I think it's bad, but I think it's in a sense good. It's both. Yes, I think this is going to make it very, very strong now for people like Anubis, Poseidon, people who do have basically quick ticks on them. Spear of the Mag is going to be great. Someone like Agni, this is going to be phenomenal for Agni too. I don't fucking know what they're talking about here. So I'm going to talk about both. If it's Obsidian Shard, it gives you 33% right off the bat. With that, I think it's trying to make it more worth it to go with this. So I guess maybe that was the change. Now this is awesome that they're making it because Obsidian Shard was worth it. It also said that it just reduces their magic protection by 20. So if they're talking about Void Shield, or not Shield, Void Stone, I'm still can't, I don't get over. Okay. Good that they're getting it separated, but bad that this is going to be incredibly strong for a couple. Soul Trap, this was a good change as well because this is like very, very expensive to go all the way up to 1,600 for just a tier 2 item. Like that is crazy. So this I think is good, but Book of Thoughts and Soul Reaver, both of those, Book of Thoughts was I think 2,600. Soul Reaver I think is 2,900. I believe it used to be 2940, so it might be 2950 now. I know they did a bunch of item gold changes. But, yeah, this I think is good because otherwise you were putting so much to put into this. 1400 I think is going to be a good change. Kiss, I don't give two shits about this because if you're not playing a real game, if you can pick 2 Aphrodites. Ares increases the minion damage, so this is going to basically help them be just get up there. Now they say, well, this is going to allow skilled Ares players to help clear lane or clear wave while tagging enemy gods. Okay, I can in a sense see it, but at the same time, you're going to be stupid if you're sitting there standing by your min wave and within Ares like pressure. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. So I get this. Anyways, regardless, I think this is a good change. Any nerf to Cernunnuous is a good change. This ability no longer slows. That's awesome. Like, there's no reason to give him that with this Frostbound. It's stupid. Now, I'm hoping that that would mean that it would just take the best one of his slow, because up here it would be God abilities. I don't know, though. Knowing high res, they probably didn't. So this is good. This is a Shifter of Seasons. Reduce the physical, or the base power on that. And, yeah. Anyways, good change here. Still, I think he needs a little bit more of a nerf. Reduce the penetration on it, reduce the slow time, reduce the slow itself. I don't know. there's a number of things that could have changed him, but he's still ridiculously strong. Hercules, this isn't really going to matter much. Now, if Smite actually did allow you to go to the gods and, you know, actually see what their abilities were, that would be awesome. But I believe this lasts for 5 seconds, or that the healing lasts for 5 seconds, and then it reduces it. So at 40% cooldown, this is really going to be at around 10 seconds, so you can still activate it every, like, you know, get healed every 5 seconds. I mean, 2 seconds, I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, like, I would say bump this up to 20. Hercules is still ridiculously strong. So, yeah, bump that up to 20, and then we're going to talk. 17, I'd say not too big of a deal. 40% cooldown, you're talking 40% off 2 seconds is going to be 0.8 seconds. So, really, you increased it by 1.2 seconds is what you just did with this. Not a big deal. Jingwei, this is awesome because now Mercury's is still the fastest god at 371 base movement speed, increased base health, and the explosive bolts. Now this I think is, you know, a minuscule change because if you ever pop this well before you need it, before you're going to auto attack, so you're running through the jungle, pop this to get it on cooldown, and there you go. You can get, in a sense, 6 explosive bolts in a row. This I don't think is a huge change, but I think it does, you know, help her out. I'm not sure why they're giving her more survivability. In a sense, the movement speed I get just to kind of make up because they did reduce her passive by, I think, a whole second. So this, I think, is good. But, I don't know, we're reverting some of her previous nerfs to her base set to give her back some boxing potential. Okay. So I guess it's for boxing. Overall, I think good change because Jingwei wasn't being picked up much because there were other gods that could do it better. Swift Vengeance, she can now auto attack and basic attack, all that fun stuff. Her second dash still does go on cooldown after 2 seconds. This I am worried about for the fact that if it procs Hydra's Lament by you dash, auto attack, slice and dice, auto attack, dash, auto attack, if you can do all of that and it's counting your one ability as your dash is 2 abilities and it procs Hydra's Lament twice, this is, oh my god, that will be stupid. It will actually be stupid. That would be like saying you could auto attack in between Susanu's 1, so you get Hydra's Lament proc 3 times in a matter of like fucking a second and a half. I don't know. I think this is bad. Morgan, look at this. She still has issues. This is why I have yet to master her. Fix an issue where clients were not taken to the end of the match lobby if Morgan's ult ends after the end of the game. Also, her basic attacks would still fire even when transformed into a different god. So if you transform into Rama to hurry and burst someone down, funny. Unless you're saying it was so broken that it would use Rama's attack speed and fire Morgan's basic attacks. If that's the case, I don't know. Thoth, Final Judgment. This I love. I honestly think this is one of the best changes this entire patch. Nothing much really anywhere else. Like, really, God changes, my god, I think this is the best one. The reason why, Final Judgment, increased mana cost by 10. Whoop-de-doo. This, right here, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention, because if you do this and you're going to try and troll, you're going to be recalling yourself and they're going to laugh at you. Canceling the ability now costs 30 mana, which doesn't sound like a big idea, but think of how many times people start it, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. They do that about, what, 8 times in between thing? Well, they just cost themselves 250 mana. So now they're not going to be able to do it as a troll thing. They're actually going to have to make a decision. Now, I like it because they're not saying we're going to completely rape you if you do this and charge you 100 mana to cost and 100 mana to use. But they're going, hey, like, we understand if you want to start setting up and maybe they cast beads. All right, no big deal. 30 mana. But it's not going to be charge, never mind. Charge, never mind. Charge, and it's just like, what the shit? Like, this, I think, is awesome. It's still going to allow you to kind of fuck with the people, but it's not going to come at a detrimental, but it's also not going to allow you to spam this in the fucking min wave. I think this is an awesome change. Awesome change. Ability icons, apparently that was a big deal to some people, and Jean-Qui basically is still getting a buff because I guess he's still in the game. Is accounting for its base damage scaling differently, even though it was bugged. Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Exposed Evil should now deal 75% of the remaining scaling damage in addition to the base damage it was already dealing. So this is a good change as well. So anyways, guys, there's the update. Thoth, I love. Overall, I gotta say this is a pretty good change. There's some other things I would have liked to be done. Like, I've told them multiple times, and I know they fucking read it. Make any rituals, consumable rituals, put a level 20 level cap on it. Like, that's it. Like, you cannot buy it until you get to 20. Their whole thing about it was, let's go ahead and make this have endgame potential. God, you want endgame? Make it fucking 20. Don't have your support be able to pick it up because he's level 13 and he's worth less gold than a fucking min wave. Like, don't have him teleport, use something like a taunt on Athena or whatever, and then be able to teleport someone just to... No! Make it 20. You want it endgame, make the level minimum 20 to purchase this. Boom. They're obviously not going to take these out of the game, even though the entire community says take it out. So make it like fucking 1,000 gold for each one, and make it like a level 20 minimum. Make it an end game option, not something you can pick up every single time you recall. That's what I say. Make it 1,000 gold. So you have to go, wow, do I want these two, or do I maybe want to pick up a power pot? This is going to be tough. It makes you make decisions. Not pick this up at 18 because you want to go burst down Fire Giant. Fuck you. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we learned some stuff. And until the next time, guys, have yourself a fucking amazing life.